You didn't close any sales at your event because you sold an offer that you wanted to sell and not one that your audience wanted. You built something in isolation. You thought it was the next big thing. You didn't validate the offer. You didn't confirm if your audience wanted it. And then you presented it at your event, and then crickets. Nobody purchased. My name is Natisha Crockett, and I'm your friendly guide to hosting purposeful and profitable events because you can absolutely do both. I'm an event strategist, I'm a sales leader, and I absolutely love the industry. I believe that I bring to the table a very unique perspective with being in sales for over a decade. I'm always answering the question, is this strategy, is this next move going to increase the likelihood that your audience is going to turn into clients? Because that is the question, right? That's why we're hosting these events and hosting these experiences, because we are leading our audience into something, or at least we hope we are, right? And so it takes so much time, so much energy, so much effort, so many tears are poured into, making these experiences happen. And the last thing you want to do is drop the ball when it comes to your offer. The last thing you want to do is drop the ball. So let's go ahead and dive right in and talk about 3 mistakes that event hosts make when it comes to their actual offer. So, mistake number one is you created the offer for the event and not for the audience in the room. This is a big one, right? This is huge, and there's so many different ways that we can actually break this piece down. So for number one, you might have an offer, right? Say you have your signature offer, and you aren't tweaking it, or you aren't constructing it so it is actually speaking to the individuals who are in the room. This is why I always say you should have some type of attendee intake form, that you are collecting information from your audience, or from your attendees, I should say, so you know exactly who's going to be in the room, what type of problems they're currently struggling with, and how what they're dealing with, how does that lead into your offer? Because your event, your experience is the bridge that is going to help them go from their struggles, their pain points, into the solutions and the desires that they are hoping for. And so when we just have these cookie cutter offers and you aren't tweaking things that are going to speak to the audience, it's not going to register for them. You could have a very validated offer. You could have, multiple people that have had success within that offer. But if you are not speaking directly to the individuals that are in that room, you're going to miss every single time. So that is one way. Another way, under the same point, is you could create a new offer, right? One that you haven't even asked your audience if it's something that they want. So I have experience with this. One of the last events that I hosted, one of my Valentine's Day events, I had launched this offer. And when I speak about things, I'm speaking from a place of I've been there and done that. So I remember going all in on this offer. I mean, I was on Canva, I was creating all the documents, everything was branded. It looked good. Didn't do no market research. Didn't know if anybody even wanted what it is that I was going to be offering. Now, hindsight, looking back, right? But I had created this offer, and it was basically like personal branding in respect to like sales, so, and how they're correlated. And only one person moved forward out of a room full of 30 plus people. One person moved forward, and it was still a win to me, for other different reasons. But for the sake of talking about the offer specifically, it wasn't a win. And so, what I found out at that event in particular is that I did not validate this offer. I did not find out if my actual audience, the women who were going to be in that room, if this was something that they needed help with. And after hosting that event, I realized that, personal branding, that wasn't anything that my audience wanted from me. It was at that event that I actually realized what people wanted from me was sales. So from that event, I actually was able to birth my company. And so a win is a win. But yeah, I did not, do any type of market research. In terms of, is this actually going to help the people who are in the room? Is this offer, is this event, how is this event the bridge from where they are to where they want to go? And I missed the mark with that. All right. The second way that second mistake that event hosts make when it comes to their offer is not validating the offer. So they are just coming up with a brand new offer entirely with no results. And the issue with this is that the audience, if there is no testimonials, and here's the thing, you can be your first client, right? But if you're just coming up with an offer out of thin air and it's, based on, concepts and frameworks that you actually haven't put in place either yourself or, a small group, you're going to miss the mark because you're not able to pull from real stories or real experiences or real people who are winning with this offer. And people want to see other people win. You have to have that social proof in there. And so to combat this, all you need to do if you are planning to push forth a new offer, test it out. Get you a little small group. You don't have to put it for free. I offer, a lower cost rate if you want to, and say, hey, I need to validate this offer. I need feedback. This is going to be very hands on. I need to know where things need to be tweaked, where I need to make myself more clear. I need to make sure that this offer makes sense. Okay. So there has to be some type of proof, right? Because again, people, the stories is what sells. And so your stories are your testimonials and the experiences that people have had when it comes to, working with you and this offer. And then number three, the third mistake that people make when it comes to the offer is you have not emotionally and mentally prepared your audience to buy. There has been no buyer readiness, there has been no preparation. And where does all of this happen? This happens before your event even begins. This is why a marketing experience is so very important, because that 90-day runway, what you're doing, you're not just, letting people know that you have this event. You are creating a storyline. You are getting people emotionally involved with your marketing and you showing up. This is soft selling. This is gearing and preparing people that there is an offer, there is something else on the other side of their pain and their struggles, and your event is that bridge. Right? So through your marketing, you're letting people know, hey, there is another side to what you're currently experiencing. And so when you are creating your event as the bridge, your offer is going to be a no-brainer, right? So from the start of your marketing up until, the actual event itself, you are handling objections through your messaging. You are preparing your audience mentally, emotionally. You're giving them testimonials, you're giving them stories, you are showcasing that there are women and that there are people just like them that are winning and succeeding. That is what you are doing through your marketing and at your event. Your event should not be the first place that people are being introduced to your offer. You want to throw that in there in the very beginning, in like pre marketing, pre nurturing phase. You want to let your audience know, hey, my event, this is the bridge. This is going to help connect you to your solution. The solution is your offer. And so if you are positioning your event as this bridge from the get go, they already know, hey, I am coming to this event because when I leave here, a solution is going to be presented to me. If there is no pre-marketing, if there is no seeds being planted, and then you just launch this offer at them, there, that's where the disconnect can be. It's sometimes if you've ever gone to an event and maybe it wasn't marketed that way, or you had no idea that an offer was even going to be presented. Somebody presents this offer, probably a hefty price with that offer. You might feel bamboozled. And so from the consumer standpoint, if you're not prepping them and you're not priming them from the very beginning, they can and may feel bamboozled when you launch that offer because there hasn't been any type of warning or letting them know. So even if you don't do such a good job of assumptive marketing in the beginning, you want to make sure that you are weaving in and letting your audience know from the very beginning of your event, hey, stay tuned. Hey, I can't wait to share this with you. Hey, like you let them know, like there is something coming, and you are going to want to make sure that you are here, you are present, and that you are ready for what I am going to introduce to you. And what you're going to introduce to them is their solution, your offer. Okay. And so those are the three main things that I see event hosts make when it comes to their offers. Right. I know a lot of times the offer itself, it can be stressful, but the one major piece of advice that I would tell you is intake form. That intake form, I am telling you, if you are asking the right questions on that form, you can utilize that form not only to create your whole experience, right? Your whole agenda, but you can also create your offer based on those answers that are being provided to you through this attendee intake form, right? So the intake form is like a key thing to making sure that your event is set up for conversion. And if any of this today resonated with you at all, if you are an event host and you're hosting an event, and this is something that you do, I want to invite you to my upcoming webinar on November 3rd. It is the Your Event is the Funnel webinar. Because here's the thing, events are like they should be a repeatable system. Rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. I know anytime that I host an event, I know exactly what to do. I know exactly what needs to be put in place, the systems that I need, the communications that I need. Everything has a purpose. And so if you are hosting events and you believe that, you could be capitalizing more on, sales, or sales are not being made, you are probably missing the framework. And that is why I want to invite you to the webinar on November 3rd. Tune in, drop a ghost in the comments if you want the link, and I will send you the link personally. It's going to be absolutely amazing. Can't wait. But as always, I appreciate you for tuning in. I love you, and I will see you on the next episode. Bye.